Hello guys, I am back. I am going to be doing another video. I recorded like a mukbang, but I never posted it, and I'm probably never gonna post it. And I was just talking about returning back to school, but I actually want to talk about one of my assignments um for one of my classes, which is basically like finding someone that we believe pioneered mainstream media. And well, like I was like debating on certain people, and I found out that, not found out, well, yeah, whatever. I wouldn't say discovered, but I learned about this amazing woman who has now passed away, but her name was Hety Lamarr, and she is honestly badass. Yeah, I want to say she's badass. But before I'm getting ready, so it's gonna be like a get ready with me, and I'm gonna tell you all about Miss Hety Lamarr as I get ready. So first, I'm gonna moisturize this. By the way, my sister just bought this, and this is for both of us because we both have very dry skin right now because of the weather. This is Bliss Hydration Salvation, and it says here that you could use it alone on top of a moisturizer or blended with foundation. And today I don't really feel like going with foundation because I have a night class and I'm not really like in the mood to, I don't know, wear foundation. Like, I don't want to wear anything heavy. This feels so oily. Ow. Anyone who does makeup, can you let me know if it's wrong for me to like scratch at like my pimples, because like I always scratch on them. Okay, but so Miss Hety Lamarr, she was an actress, I believe, around the 1930s. Her first film was Ecstasy, and it was a film, I believe it was a French film, and she was married to like another, I should probably go into a big like background. So Miss Hety Lamarr was born in Austria. She hold on. I don't have a mirror in front of me, which is a mistake, I guess. She was born in Austria, and she and her dad had I guess an amazing childhood or a good childhood, and her dad shared. Let me use this one. Shared a love of tinkering with stuff. Her dad was like, she was from a well-off family. She was rich. She had money. She was the only child, and like she was just very well off. I'm gonna use Fresh Pick. By the way, I'm using the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes. I don't know how long we've had this, but it still works, I guess. And I'm gonna be using Fresh Picked right here. So her dad and her grew up, like, well, not grew up, but like he always encouraged her tinkering with like a bunch of stuff. Like she used to tinker with her music box. Like, she would take it apart and put it back together, and it would work. And her dad always encouraged it. So she was pretty smart. She, I believe, dropped out of school when she was in high school. I don't know if it's the outer eye or upper lid or whatever, but it's on one of those two things, okay? And so, and she noticed that she was really pretty because everyone would stare at her. Like, men and women would stare at her and admire her looks, like as she was growing up. She grew up to be really pretty. So Miss Hety Lamarr ended up marrying young, but also filming a movie called Ecstasy, which is basically like nowadays a classy type of porno. It's a classier version of 50 Shades of Grey, okay? Without the whole, or I don't even know if that's how a whip sounds like, but that's how it does. You can't really see, because I can't really see either way. Anyways, I'm gonna keep saying that, by the way, because you know what? I'm trying to build up my confidence, and I ain't confident. No me maten, por favor. Oh, this is cute. I don't know what this is called, but this is a brush. I'm gonna use. I can use peach cobbler. I can use peach punch. I'm gonna use peach punch. Can you see which one it is? Right here. This right here. It's like very. Okay, I don't even know. Whatever. It's very pink. I don't think I want to blend it. Oh, I could have totally gone in and put it like corner. Made it look like a freaking Kylie or something. I think it's Kylie Jenner that has like the blue inner corner thing that's going on. Like in one picture. If I find the picture, I'll post it up. I can't double task. Anyways, so she does that movie. She's married, like, this is around the 1930s, like, when she does that movie and all that stuff. And that movie will be the reason why no one will take her seriously in the future. Because it's a classy porno movie. And she ends up marrying this dude. She loves him but doesn't really love him. He's also rich. He is in charge of manufacturing weapons, guns, and ammunition and all that stuff for, you guessed it, Nazi Germany. He was Jewish, and she was also Jewish, but they ended up, she was treated like a trophy wife, okay? They lived like in a 25 bedroom home. Stalin, not Stalin, like I don't know, maybe Stalin did. Stalin would come. Mussolini did stay. Was one of the most noted that he did end up staying in their house, sleeping in their house. And either way, she was like, I'm done. I don't want to stay with you anymore. So during one time where, by the way, he kept her on lockdown because he thought she was having an affair because she was so pretty. And honestly, I would not blame her because he's a freak. And she ends up running away after, like, she not poisons but drugs her one of the maids and runs off to London. She like steals jewelry, she dresses up as a maid, runs off to London. From then on, she ends up meeting this one, I can't remember his name because I'm like, he kind of annoys me because he basically blacklists her. So I'm not gonna state his name, but everyone should know who he is, because, you know, he was one of the biggest, like, movie producers out there. And she ends up running away, right? And he ends up giving her an opportunity. He offers her, I believe, is it not 525, maybe like $350 or something, not a day or a week of payment, payment, to like go on the movie. So she's like, nah, I don't want that. Like, offer more. She walks out. She regrets it, but she doesn't go back in there because, you know, she has balls. She's like, no, I'm not gonna go back in there. And like, she ends up selling a bit of her jewels and going on a boat. And on that boat, he's there again. She catches the eyes of the producer and of other people, and he's like, I gotta have her. So he ends up paying her a little bit more, like, I guess like $100 more, and like she ends up doing movies for him. And these movies, they're not the best, but they're all right. They like, she ends up arriving in the U.S. and people love her. They copy her hair, men and women, like, they just find her appealing. And she didn't start in movies. She didn't speak English very well. She memorized her lines, said them, but she wasn't, like, she couldn't speak English. And then during World War II, around World War II, she meets Henry Hughes. Hold up, I wrote it on my notes, because, you know, it is a homework. Alright. Okay, Howard Hughes. Sorry. May you rest in peace. Amazing inventor. Okay, so she meets Howard Hughes. And Howard Hughes and her kind of like start a relationship. They start dating each other. And it was a very cerebral style relationship. Like, he was in love with her brain. And like, she was still inventing. Like, she still loved to invent. So like, in her Hollywood home, she had like a full inventing room. Like, she had tables to like little workshops in her home. And in a trailer, like, Howard Hughes gifted her an inventing set, and that's where she would work. And they built on this relationship. In fact, that they built on it to where, like, she would give her opinion on the things on his inventions. Like, he would seek her thoughts out. And in one case, it was actually a plane that he wanted to do. He wanted to build a very fast plane, right? And the thing is, like, he showed her the blueprints of it, and like, they were squared blueprints, and she was like, no, this is not gonna work. This will not work. So she ends up purchasing like a book about fishes, a book about birds, and like searches the fastest bird and the fastest fish and draws up a comparison. She keeps drawing them, and then she ends up placing the pictures or something. She ends up forming them together and ends up creating a blueprint of a plane, and it works. Like, they create a plane, a perfectly functioning plane with her drawings. And I think that was one of the few / biggest contributions that she did right then and there. And it also was like, she also, like, he was like, I'm gonna give you some and she wanted to invent this cube of Coca-Cola. So like people in factories and people in the war can just drop it in water, but unfortunately, because people have different types of water, like density of water and all that, and depending on their location, it wouldn't work the way she would want to. She ended up finding that out, so she was like, one of the worst things like I invented, like, she admitted it. She was like, it was hopeless. um but then Miss Madame, I'm gonna call her Madame Hety Lamarr, forget about her relationships, forget about everything. Like, I just love her brilliant mind. She ends up creating this system with one, like, I believe it, she might have married him. I'm not quite sure. But a pianist and her end up creating this algorithm, possibly, idea of um, how to disrupt, uh, not disrupt, the radio signal. Like, she was in love with the control, like how you can use the control. Like, during this time, they invented, like, I forgot who invented it, but they invented a control where they can change the radio station. They can just hop onto the station. And there was an issue where, like, Nazis were able to interfere with messages, like with their submarines. And so she created this, like, pattern. She was like, well, what if we created a system like a signal, a radio signal, where you can control it, like implant it on the torpedo and control it with the ship and switch the signal. Because they can't just go immediately blocking all the signals, because they don't know which signal they are. And even if they block the signal, they only are blocking like that half a second signal. Like, they're not completely, so they can still send messages. And like, she ended up getting a patent for it. And like, this is like a way she was like, she can jam the frequency and all that, like not jam it, but like prevent it from happening, prevent Nazi Germany like doing that, right? Unfortunately, because she was a woman, and the they ended up pushing it away, right? They ended up like, yeah, whatever, stuffing it in like a bin somewhere in the world, and was like, no. A few years later, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, they ended up using that very same patent to interfere and intercept and all that stuff. And she wasn't aware of it until later on. She wanted to get the money, right? And they were like, you were too late. No, you were too late. No one ever told her anything about that. And I'm just like, that upset me. And it's just like that same thing that she used, it's the very same thing that we use today. Like, it's in our phones, it's in our GPS, it's in Bluetooth, it's in like radio, and it's just like, it's in Wi-Fi. And it's like, she helped us with that. Like, the reason why we can communicate now is because of Miss Hety Lamarr. Like it's annoying. And then like, it kind of just reminded me, not in like 100%, it's not like in 100% way, but sort of. Hold up. Ow. Like, of what was his name? Okay, I have it. I remember. I have it. No. There we are. Alan Turing. And if you don't know who he is, watch The Imitation Game. How like they basically like pushed him because they didn't accept gays during that time. And he basically died with the computer in his head. Because, and no one can say it was selfish, but like it, like him offing himself because he didn't mean to do it. I mean, he meant to do it, but he didn't mean to do it. Like he was in a dark place and they pushed him. So if you guys want to hear that story of about his amazingness, I don't know if this is very well blended, and I don't really know if I care. Because I mean, I'm gonna post it up and I'll like put in my information if y'all want to see the picture of the finishing product, because you know your girl is very tired. Should I? I'll try it. I'm gonna like do that, but like it's sad. And then the fact that Mr. Dr. Feelgood, and if you don't know who he is, please, 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 like look him up. He was a dude that like was said to have this amazing thing that would give you a boost of energy, and I'm pretty sure this is the exact same thing that they used to give to Jackie Kennedy. Like if you see saw the TV show The Crown, there was a reference to that they would give her medication, and it was methamphetamine. They ended up finding out, which was legal back then, but not anymore, because we all know what happens, and it ended up affecting her, like her person. Like she ended up becoming an addict of it, but it's not like she was aware of the consequences of that. And it's just it's really sad how like she lived this life. She was actually like, she was so smart. She produced her like 2 movies, produced, directed, and like they didn't do well. Like they're amazing films, like they are. I saw them, and they didn't do well. All because she was ahead of her time, and no one could like stand that. And it's a sad thing, because it's true. Like I don't know. I'm not gonna get emotional over it. I've been emotional all day. But if she has left an amazing story, and I wish like someone could like do like a biopic of her, like an authentic one, not like over dramatized, not like, because she already lived a dramatized life, and like work with the woman that did Bombshell, the story of Hety Lamarr. Like work with that director and work with her children, and like do this amazing biopic like that. Someone should like do that, because it's like she is worth it. Like she is someone in history that everyone deserves to know and love. And I don't know, like it's just I feel like she is someone history should never forget. I was gonna do this, but I already did this weird little eyeshadow liner thing, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna end up doing this. But yeah, and maybe I shall give you what's his face. If I nope. I don't have her. The person. And to the video, she had a pattern. Oh, by the way, had she gotten paid, she would have been paid $30 billion today. That's how much it would have been worth. So the U.S. once again pushed a woman behind. Haha. I do know the person that had the tapes. He did a interview, I believe a phone interview. Fleming Meeks. I'm going to say it's Meeks. But he interviewed her, and I appreciate that he recorded the tapes and had like the tapes of her voice, because it was amazing. I mean, yeah. Like, forget about her beauty, forget about that. She was so smart. And I feel like she most definitely would have supported like STEM. Like Women for STEM. She would. Alright, I'm back. I'm just gonna finish off with the eyebrows and mascara. But yes, this Hety Lamarr. An icon for days. But yeah, and it also just proves that Hollywood, it just ends up ruining you. I mean, if you let it. And unfortunately, she let it ruin her. It made her and it broke her. Like, well, she made it herself. But yes. And I'll also like set the links of the documentary. It's on Netflix though, so I'll like I'll set up links of if there's any like reports on the people on Hety that people did on YouTube. I'll set those links up. I'll make sure. Alright, this is a look. You can't really see very well because there's no lighting, but I'll post the picture. Alright, if you want to follow me on my Instagram, I'll post that below, or I'll post it somewhere around here. I can't even remember my Instagram username, so yeah, that's my bad. Alright, bye everybody.